Hey guys, welcome to another session of FFBE Global News. So Star Ocean Collab is here. So we had this in JP apparently, and this was before my time. At the current moment, JP doesn't have their 7-star versions. So my banner review, as in whether or not you should pull on this, will be very based on that information. If there are no 7-star versions of them, then it doesn't matter how much global exclusive upgrades they receive. They still might not be worth pulling for. But let's take a look at their skills and also their TMRs. Now, I am not going to spend too much time diving into their kit because, from what I've heard, I mean, if they don't have any 7 stars and 7 stars are just like maybe a month or two away, you really should be pulling for everything other than their actual skills and kit. Maybe potentially you would pull for their TMRs, and that's what I would recommend you doing. So at least here, let's see here, Rena is a healer, and I've heard, and I haven't looked into it, but I've heard that she's kind of like Tillith in the sense that she can heal pretty well, but with skills instead of magic. So it could be useful on certain trials who have like limited missions where it's like, oh, no magic but you still need to heal. So like, for example, Aegeon is one of those trials. But we also have a Trust Master reward, a global upgrade of the Trust Master reward. Apparently it used to be, I think, 70 spirit and 70 attack, and they like quickly changed this to 20 attack and then 110 spirit. And also, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be a light elemental. So it doesn't say here obviously, but I think it should remain a light elemental. But they've really swapped and shifted the traits there to spirit, really. Spirit 110 and attack 20, lowered attack but increased the spirit. Obviously, a lot of guys on Discord are already discussing this, that this TMR could be really useful for someone like Leela. Now, Leela doesn't get any more spirit passives with Fist. In fact, she gets attack, but she does get an HP bump with Fist. So if you have, most likely you'll be wielding a staff with her. She's strongest in her spirit build instead of her attack build. If you dual wield this, you just pretty much get yourself a 30% HP as part of her passives, but she doesn't get any more spirit passives from equipping Fist. So 110 spirit flat is pretty good too, especially if you don't have, let's say, Yuna's TMR, or maybe you haven't completed the 10-man trials with Sheraton. You haven't gotten Holy Wand. 110 spirit in a Fist is quite surprising, and it's quite good. Now at the moment, even just thinking off the top of my head, there are very limited units that I can think of, even in the 7-star meta, that would benefit from a Fist with extremely high spirit. At the most, maybe I can think of maybe for Awakened Rain, because Awakened Rain, he can't actually wield like staffs, so staffs usually have higher spirit. But if you get this Knuckle, you could put that on Rain, and technically it's quite strong. I mean, you get 110 spirit is no joke, but the only problem is then you remove the chance of him getting his 30% HP buff from his Crimson Saber. So this is just like thoughts that I'm thinking off the top of my head. Where could you see this used? 30. If you had a limited unit Yan, the 4-star healer from the Festival of Love event, you probably could benefit from this as well. The 30% HP is really nice, and then the 110 spirit. She also has upgrades in her abilities, so I mean, no data here, like no actual numbers, but just assume it's definitely bumped up to fit into the meta currently, and potentially it might exceed the current meta just by a bit. I'm just thinking from a game developer point of view that if they don't enhance these abilities like to somewhere you can use it in the next, I don't know, 2-3 months, there is no point pulling for them. So like I said, most of this banner, I would say pull for the TMRs, and as we'll see later, this is a raid event, just like most of our collabs are raid events. That means free TMRs. Now, taking for granted that if the Trust Moogles drop at the regular collab rates, you probably can get at least 1 TMR from each unit, like completely free, right? And maybe 2, depending on how hard you grind the raid and at which level you play the raid at, elite or hard, etc, etc. We have Fate here. His job is attacker, and he has no boost in his sword. It's 135% attack, light elemental sword. If you are looking for, I guess, different chaining options for your light elemental weapons, this might be a good one for you to get. At the moment, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I don't really have anyone that could really benefit from it. Most of the guys that I have would be able to wield a large sword that I want to use as a physical DPS, but I mean, having a sword which 135 attack is not a small TMR here. Obviously, it's a 5-star base TMR, so you would expect at least 135, and from a sword, that's quite incredible. I think only Onion Knights, maybe Onion Knights TMR has about the same power, but it's not non-elemental. Global upgrade again. I don't have the numbers in front of me, as in what kind of damage modifiers this gets upgraded to. So again, I would say that if you're pulling on this and you're going for the 5-star base units, I'd say out of these two, I say Rena would be the one that you should be more happy with because of that Trustmaster reward. And we did get a 92, if I remember correctly, 92 attack light elemental sword from the King's Knight raid event anyway. And if you played 2 of the King's Knight raid, like even the return one, then you probably have 2 light bringers, which is the light elemental sword I was talking about. Now, Fidel is the one I would say is the most worth pulling for, at least for his Trustmaster. Now, if you take a look, it's an instant boost, 40% attack to your unit, which is really good. That's like as good as Orochi's TMR. Now, we don't see a non-stackable icon here on this TMR, but I'm gonna assume it is, because if you go down, you can actually see on the last line of their asterisks, you can see it's like the one icon indicates the select Trustmaster rewards are not stackable, but you don't see that in any other Trust Mastery. Like, you don't see that icon anywhere. So if they put it there, it's most likely they just forgot to put it in this graphic. Now, if you play JP, you do know that most Trustmaster rewards that are not stackable in global are stackable in JP, and except some individuals that might be different. But so assume that you cannot stack this. Okay, assume you cannot stack this. But if you were fortunate enough to pull Orochi, and you have that, and you have this, and then you have some other like good passives like a sword mastery, like a large sword mastery, then potentially you can have your unit to have really high attack. Now, the reason why I always say pull it from this one is because it's not based on any equipment. You get 40% attack just slapping it on. So for someone like a gunner may not have good gun masteries or good gun passive abilities. This would definitely go a long way for someone like that. And of course, just having a couple of them laying around, if you're going with your own chainers, you can most likely deck them out, almost max them out. So definitely, if I'm gonna pull on this, I will pull for him and maybe aim for 2, so 4-star base unit. He also has a global upgrade, and again, it is another skill I don't have the numbers for, so apologies for that. Now, Roddick is actually a really good one, his TMR. So Millie's Charm, so 8 defense and spirit, which is already not terrible, and then 10% HP, okay, but then boost fire, water, wind, earth, light, dark resistance by 10%. So that's basically all elemental resistances, -2, minus ice, and I think fire, wind, you're missing 2, earth, yeah, missing 2 from this, but it's almost a full elemental resistance, 10%, which is better than Sorcerer's Cape, but it has also another 10% HP, MP, and also has some base defense and spirit. I can definitely see this going on some tank, potentially a magic tank or a physical tank that needs to tank elemental damage on some off turns or something. I would say this is worth it. Now, the Millie's Feelings is the special ability for it. Only Roddick can have it, and it boosts attack by 30%, but that is easily neglectable because most likely you won't be using Roddick unless you're a new player. But again, like I said, there are no 7-star versions of them, especially on JP. So if if you're planning like, okay, I hope there's a 7-star in the future, I would definitely just wait. Just hold off, because at least based on JP's rules, if there's a 7-star version of some unit, they will have a return banner for it. So most likely, like for example, Just Cause 3, we do know that Rico at least will get a 7-star version, and it's quite likely that when they return with the 7-star release, we will have a Just Cause 4 collab, which kind of aligns with the release of Just Cause 4. Anyways, so yes, keep those things in mind. Pull for the TMRs now if you want, because these TMRs are still good in this current meta. Sooner or later, obviously a 40% attack just won't do it, but just having a couple of these would be really good. So pull for 2 at least, I think, just because you might need 2 DPS units in the future, fully loaded, and possibly pull for this Knuckle here, for like what I said, Awaken Rain, other maybe exclusive units that will be introduced down the line that could benefit from this. I know that Gumi doesn't just make changes to stuff, especially such big changes, for no reason whatsoever. Sometimes you'll find a pattern where you pull like someone and their TMR or their ability or their kit is like perfect for like an upcoming trial or another unit down the line. So just keep those things in mind. At least that's my thoughts on this banner for now. So we have our raid event, as I have said, Vanquish G-Reverse. It looks like this big robot dude, which is kind of cool. Again, I never played Star Ocean myself, so I know there are a lot of Star Ocean fans that also play FFBE, and from what I know, there are also crossovers from FFBE like Rain and Laswell and stuff in Star Ocean as well. But yeah, so we have this raid here. As usual, raid orbs, once every hour, capped at 5 for now. And so grind as much as you can. Like I said, free TMR Moogles, Cactuars, Gill Snappers. You can possibly pull tickets. I don't know if you can actually pull it on this one. Let me see if they actually show it on their polling banner, then it's most likely you can. So I'm not quite sure. Get various rewards, and because this is like I said, this is an older. Okay, you can. So yeah, so you can see there are tickets there, and also regular Moogles. So there are specific unit Moogles, and you can get global Moogles as well. So definitely take a look at that. And it just as usual, yeah, raids, you get crafting materials, you get recipes as you're grinding the raid. That could be pretty good. The equipment. Now let's take a look at the equipment here, and I'll talk about it and also give you my thoughts on it. We have first Fierce Bow, so 110 Wind Elemental, 2-handed weapon. So it being Wind Elemental usually means that you have to do physical damage. Now other than Ang that I can think of, no one can do really good bow physical damage, so this might just be good for him. But regardless, these are all free anyway. This katana here with the Dark Elemental 72 is not super high, but having a Dark Elemental katana could fit. Anyways, when you're playing FFBE, definitely get elemental weapons, and also weapons that feature killers in it, so like Man-Eater, Beast Killer, etc. Those are usually the most important things, because for elemental chaining, and also the killers do substantial damage. So sometimes the raw attack or the raw stats on them are not that important, but in this case 72 is okay. And then Dark Elemental is really nice to have, since Dark Elemental gear is usually quite a niche. And you really don't use it anymore. A lot of people don't. But for example, I plan to be using Sephiroth with Dark Elemental weapon in a future trial, which I will talk about as well. So anyways, attack and magic 60 with Earth Elemental. So a couple hybrid units are going to come down the line. I think Barrett in FF7 is also a hybrid unit, also uses guns, so having this might be useful. Again, like I said, elemental weapons are very good to have. And then we have some other stuff which I have no stats on. Riot gear, some dagger, Teke Mikazuki, and a metal pipe, which apparently is a sword. Again, no stats on it. It looks like could be some elemental stuff, and most likely it will have some abilities to it. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And we have a raid unit as well. So usually, wow, it's a 4-star. Right. Someone was saying this. Yeah, someone was saying this free unit as a 4-star. Usually we get a 3-star base unit, 3 to 5-star unit from free raid. But this is a 4-star, which is good. Let's take a look. So Trust Master, boost HP by 10%. Oh yeah, I remember this. Poison, blind, sleep, silence. So all status ailment protection, but I remember it's 50%. So if you are a new player, this one is actually really good. You guys pretty much got a free ribbon. But the only thing is, if it's 50%, you need 2 of these abilities in order to get 100% resistance, which, again, depending on who is using it, it could be not that, you know, it might be a waste of ability slots, but it has 10% HP in it, so at the most you get a full status ailment resistant unit with a 20% HP boost, and you have 2 ability slots left to spare. Again, this is, I think, more beneficial for newer players because you might not have ribbon, you might not have discernment, or any of those TMRs that prevent status ailments. I don't think we need to look into the abilities too much, so yes, that's it for this. 3-star Espers unlocked. So following the maintenance, we got 2 more Espers. So it feels like they're pushing these out quite quickly. I think in JP by now they're way more ahead. I think that's the reason why we're getting it pushed like almost once every week. We got them a bit late, and then now we're kind of getting on track now. Lakshmi and Titan. So someone may be asking, hey, where's Odin, right? Odin did come before Titan and Lakshmi in terms of the story chronology, but I think they wanted to save Odin for something more epic, because Odin is quite a beast. He's hard to kill. Odin will be coming with Tetrasophid, which are 2 of the strongest and hardest Espers to fight. Now, from my knowledge, again, I have taken these guys on in JP, but I one-shot them, so I will be in the same area as you guys, trying to figure them out in this coming week. Now, Lakshmi, all I know is that after the first turn, it's a full party MP drain, so make sure that you have someone with an MP battery, like instant, to make your job a lot easier, or at least have MP refresh on most of your units. And Titan has Snort. I don't remember if it's a threshold or if it's a turn count skill, but he can snort out one of your units. So definitely, if you can't finish him before he snorts, you have to have a provoke tank, or someone that can provoke it away. Some bait, I'd say. So definitely a lot to think about this coming week. And as usual, I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing this because it really pushes me in the right direction, as in, you know, what gear should I be grinding, and also proves that, okay, the gear that I've grinded for like months and fed Mughals to was worth it when I can complete these trials. It definitely feels good. So hopefully you guys also have good luck on this. And our special return summon campaign, it is at the end of this week, I believe, that we'll get it on Friday. So this is the thing talked about since E3. Every 5,000 lapis spent, you get a ticket. Every 50,000 lapis spent, you get a 4-star ticket. So as you can see here, every 5,000 you get a 3-star, every 50,000 you get a 4-star, and they lap. So every 10 you get 10, every 50,000 you get 10 3-star tickets, and you get 1 4-star ticket. Now, for those of you who know my play style, I'm just gonna put it that way, will probably be wondering how many tickets I have. I don't even know. So we will see. I'm very curious to find out how many I have, and whether to feel really good about it or salty about it, I have no idea. But we have a special summon period, so make sure you summon in the time till October 1st. So that's quite a lot of time. And also take a look at the note here. So any unit prior to July 26 will be in the pool, but any unit that's after July 26 will not be in the pool. So you want to make sure you know, like, that there's no point saving it. That's probably the best way to put it. No point saving it till later. It's not like an EX ticket where you can grab every single unit from the current pool. This won't. So if you guys are saving your EX tickets, sometimes it's good to save it for a unit you want that's released, so you had a little chance to pull them. I'm just taking a look at my archives here, taking a look at which unit was featured before July 26th, so you don't have to do the Google search. Obviously it might be faster, but yeah, so it seems that by July 26th, Awaken Rena Medina would be the last banner. So that's actually pretty good. So all the units like Reagan, past Nicole, CG Nicole will be included. So Awaken Rena Medina is the last batch that you can pull from it, and because July 26th is gonna be a Star Ocean collab, so you won't be able to pull them, as it says that there's the limited units will not be included in it. So yeah, so that's that. And that is the news this week. So pretty good stuff still coming around the corner. We can totally see, I don't know about you, but you can totally see like the hype kind of lowering since E3. We're getting what we were promised. You know, things go on as usual. Hopefully you guys have fun this week. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to be pulling on this banner? Do you agree or disagree with the thoughts that I had on the TMRs and why you should be pulling? And like I said, I don't think I'll be pulling hard for it. I can't think of a unit in JP meta right now that can really benefit from the fist or from that light elemental weapon TMR. If you want really powerful fists, you can probably get it in an STMR. But again, I'm not quite sure if Global will introduce a Collects unit, so a global exclusive unit that may really benefit from that fist. So you never know. If you're lucky enough to pull the 5-star, obviously really just yeah, enjoy it, guys. So anyways, that's it for now. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.